So far, the only difficult part of dynamic encounters in the Elder Scrolls Online is figuring out where they are. Hey everyone, it's Spopes. With Season 1 launching in the Elder Scrolls Online, dynamic encounters are now live. And in this video, I'm going to show you where they are, explain their rotation, and also talk about the rewards you can hope to get. Right off the bat, I just want to be sure to show you where each dynamic encounter is. The one in Auridon is right here just north of Volcal Guard. The one in Stonefalls is on the northwestern coast near the Dreg Beaches. And the one in Glenumbra is at the north of the zone near the North Hag Fen Way Shrine. We're going to cover all the details in this video. Before we get into it, please do like, hype, and sub, and consider upgrading your support with a membership, a merch purchase, or a donation. The first thing to cover is, what are dynamic encounters? This is a new public event style kind of content that was launched in ESO with Update 50, specifically with Season 1, which launched on July 8th, 2026. These are a new take on the traditional incursion format, the main difference being that with two of them, you move across the zone, not very far, but there is movement involved. And with the third, the one in Auridon, there are different activities thrown into the mix other than killing monsters, such as leading horses and putting out fires. Overall, I'd say this first run of dynamic encounters are a good start on the new system. For more information on what I have to think about dynamic encounters, check out the review video linked above. But the main positive thing about dynamic encounters so far is the rewards you can get from them. But to get those rewards, you have to know where they are, which starts with knowing when they occur. This gets kind of complicated, so bear with me here. Each dynamic encounter is on a 30-minute rotation, meaning that the next one starts 30 minutes after the last one ended. So for the Farm of Flame dynamic encounter here in Auridon, for instance, when that dynamic encounter ends, a 30-minute timer starts. When that ends, the next dynamic encounter will occur in that location. Thankfully, these are staggered, meaning that each dynamic encounter in each zone starts a little bit after the other one. What I mean by that is the system is set up so the next dynamic encounter, in this case in Stonefalls, should begin roughly 10 minutes after the one in Auridon ends. The rotation works like this. Since we're talking about a cyclical progression here, there is no real start or end. But let's just say the cycle starts in Auridon. That dynamic encounter starts first, let's say. Then we have the one in Stonefalls. And lastly, the dynamic encounter in Glenumbra begins. So these are each on their own timer. So for the Glenumbra encounter, the next one begins 30 minutes after the last one ended. You finish the Glenumbra encounter, then another Glenumbra encounter begins 30 minutes later. But these are staggered, so the best way to approach it is to pick a starting point, say in Auridon, wait until that one happens, complete it. Then the next one in the cycle is in Stonefalls, so go to that one and complete it. Then the third one is in Glenumbra, go to that one and finish it up. Then if you want, you can go back to Auridon and do the whole thing over again. Summarizing one more time, the rotation basically works like this. You go to Auridon, then Stonefalls, then Glenumbra. There's going to be about 10 minutes of dead time between each event because each one is on its own separate 30-minute timer. If you have any questions about that, leave it in the comments. Now that we've covered what dynamic encounters are and the rotation they follow, let's zoom in on the location of each one. So the Auridon encounter, Farm of Flame, centers around this little farm just north of Volcal Guard. This one is not mobile. It stays in the same location, but it changes throughout the encounter. You start by fighting off bandits, then you put out fires in the stable, lead horses to their corral, fight off some more bandits, and you're done. It is the fastest one. It's done in 2 to 3 minutes. And again, it's located right here north of Volcal Guard. When it is active, the dynamic encounter icon will show up at this location. The one in Stonefalls begins right outside the High Tide Hollow Delve, which is closest to the Frogger's Hold Way Shrine. You can also get there from the Sulphur Pools Way Shrine. You start at this location, progress to the Sulphur Pools, and you end up here. Now the one in Glenumbra starts right here. You can get there either from the Lion Guard Redoubt Way Shrine or the North Hag Fen Way Shrine. This one takes you on a bit more of a wild goose chase. You do travel all throughout this area, but just like with the Stonefalls one, the icon will move on your map as the event moves. You can also track it on your compass. So even if you don't catch the event right when it starts, you can find out where it's moved to by looking at your map. This one is probably the longest one, the Vampire Hunt. The one in Stonefalls takes a medium amount of time, and again, the Auridon one is fastest. I hope that provided you with all the information you need to know to find each of the dynamic encounters and to go to each location at the right time. Again, the rotation goes Auridon, Stonefalls, Glenumbra. Once you finish one, just go camp out at the starting location of the next one. The full rotation takes 30 to 40 minutes depending on how long the last event took to complete, and that's how you farm them. But now it's time to talk about why you're going to want to farm dynamic encounters. This new type of content does come with quite a few new rewards, one of which is the new Alessian Rebel outfit style. I haven't verified this yet, but it's possible, like with other outfit styles, you can only get one page of this per day. I know I've done around 3 or 4 of these every single day since Wednesday, but the first time I got a piece was actually today, so the drop rate of this style is pretty low. This is what the new style looks like, not really my cup of tea, but for some of you, it may be worth the chase. Another reward you get from Dynamic Encounters are the shards you combine to get the new Werewolf and Vampire skill styles. The shards for the Werewolf styles come from the Bill's Delivery Dynamic Encounter in Stonefalls. You need 1 of them to get the black form, 5 to get the gray form, and 10 to get the white form. Unfortunately, aside from the gray option, these look exactly like how the werewolves already look. The white one looks like the pack leader, the black one looks like the berserker. So the only one that's really worth it in terms of actually changing your style is the gray one. But yes, those come from Bill's Delivery in Stonefalls. And the item you're going to want to look out for is called Bitten Chewbone. From the Glenumbra Dynamic Encounter, you're going to get pieces of the new Cold Harbor Blood Scion skill style. This is only from the Glenumbra encounter, and you need 10 of them to unlock the style. So far I've been pretty lucky, and I've gotten 3 of these. I believe 1 for each time I've done that encounter. And then lastly, Dynamic Encounters do drop the final piece of the Rogue's Refuge house. You get 3 of these from the new Daggerfall Thieves Guild questline, but the last one, the Baffling Bandar Note, only comes from Dynamic Encounters. And I believe it's from any Dynamic Encounter. If I remember correctly, I got mine from the one in Glenumbra. Plus, Dynamic Encounter chests will drop other rewards like gold, set pieces, etc. But the 3 main chases you're going after are the Alessian Rebel style, the Fragments of the new skill styles, and the final fragment of the Rogue's Refuge house. So that does it for explaining where Dynamic Encounters are and what you can get from them, but I do want to finish up by providing a few tips on doing these without going crazy. So first of all, it is a waiting game. Do keep in mind there's going to be a lot of waiting in between these, even if you follow the rotation I put forward correctly. I found there to be around 5 to 10 minutes of downtime between each event. So say you finish the one in Glenumbra and go back to Auridon, you're going to be sitting there waiting at the farm for 5 to 10 minutes before the event pops. So find something else to do, check social media, read a book, because there's going to be a lot of waiting in between. Now also, these are severely undertuned at present. Monsters go down faster than they do at Alec or Dolmen's. You do have to participate somehow to get your rewards. So do try to throw some attacks in there, participate in the event in some way. But the difficulty does not seem to scale with the number of people. This is a massive oversight that I hope the team fixes soon. But yes, these are crazy crowded, there are tons and tons of people, and it can be hard to get a single hit in, given how quickly the monsters go down. This is where DOT AoE skills like Engulfing Dragonfire on the Dragon Knight really help out. They do damage in a wide area and tick frequently, making your chance of getting a hit in much higher. Also, do try to be there right at the beginning of the Dynamic Encounter because they end pretty quickly. Time it properly so you're waiting at the start area right when the next one starts. On the first day, I definitely had the issue on stream where I got there too late. If you get there right at the end, you might be okay, but don't get there when the event is already over. And again, for my review of the system overall, check out the review I put out of both Favors and Dynamic Encounters. That covers both the pros and cons of these new systems. All right, that's going to cover it, everyone. We showed where Dynamic Encounters are, what you can get from them, and also provided some tips. Overall, I do find these to be kind of fun, even if they could be better. The rewards you get from them will keep them engaging at least for a while. But I do call on Zos to improve on this system in the future. I think Dynamic Encounters could have been so much more, and I'm hoping the system will be added to as time goes by. If you have any questions about Dynamic Encounters, anything I did not make clear, please do leave that in the comments. Also, do let us know what you think of this new type of gameplay overall. Whether you think it's terrible, mid, or great. Leave all your thoughts in the comments. And before you click away, please do like, hype, and subscribe. And consider upgrading your support with a Spopes Army membership, which is very affordable but comes with great perks. You can also scroll down or go to my Fourth Wall site to check out my merch. And you can leave donations on Fourth Wall or here on YouTube in the form of super thanks. I am truly grateful for all your support, but I'm even more grateful to God. So we're going to finish the video, as always, with a prayer to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Lord, thank you for the Elder Scrolls Online and for inspiring the developers to add new content to the game. Lord, please do be with the developers as they go through trying times. and do be with the players as they are forced to settle for relatively subpar content. I ask that you inspire ZOS to improve on the Dynamic Encounter system, that you inspire them to make even better content going forward. And Lord, I do thank you for my channel and for my community. Please bless my channel with even greater growth and bless my community in all ways. Lord Christ, I give you all glory for this video and for my channel. Lord, in your mercy, hear our prayer. Thanks for watching until the end. Before you go, please do like, hype, comment, and subscribe. And when you do subscribe, turn on notifications because I'll be back soon with new content.